So how's it going, everyone? It is a beautiful, beautiful day.
Yeah, happy fall.
Yeah, fall is here now. Yeah, official day of fall happened this weekend. So we got some exciting things that happened in the greenhouse. We're going to show you, and we're going to kind of go through the garden and see what's left.
Yep. So in the greenhouse, our carrots are popping up everywhere. This is so exciting. We've got carrots all the way down, some Scarlet Nantes, and then a Danvers variety. And then on the other side of the greenhouse, all of the greens are starting to pop up. So we are going to be eating some greens soon, which is super exciting. We still have some in our freezer, so we are using those a little bit, but it'll be exciting to have some fresh ones.
So the pepper plants are, setting back a little bit, not doing as well, but they also were transplanted, so it's expected. But we also were watering this pretty heavily for all the seeds. So that could be another part of it too, is that they just had too much water. But I'm hoping they do bounce back, but time will tell. We got some time yet for them to bounce back before this winter. Hey, you get out of there.
So my lone celery plant that survived, it looks like a bug found it, has been nibbling on the leaves. So I'm hoping we can figure out what's going on there so we can keep our lone celery. I doubt we're going to get much off of it, but hey, I'll take what I can get. We do have one sweet potato plant over here, a few on the other side of the greenhouse. Hopefully we can get some sweet potatoes off of them, but if not, we'll be eating these greens. And look at these tomato plants. They are like a jungle. We are constantly clipping them up now. We've got tomatoes in here about 1 inch in diameter so far, but we can't remember what we planted in here. We had decided between the Wisconsin Chief and the Italian Heirloom. We think we planted the Italian Heirloom in here, but the problem with those was we think the seeds we actually saved had been crossed with other seeds. So those are what we're referring to as our lovely belly button tomatoes. Although they're really pretty and fun in color, we end up losing quite a bit because there's quite a bit of damage on those particular tomatoes.
What you doing?
Probably just a little early, but deadheading some of these. It's hard when I've got the snips in my hand not to just like cut a bunch that are dying so that we have so many seeds for next year. So our lone cucumber plant here is still producing cucumbers for us. I'd say about every other day or so, every 2 or 3 days, we're getting a cucumber of decent size that we can eat fresh off of them. Matt is anxious to get these broccoli plants pulled out. He wants to do some changes to the garden, and it's going to mean getting these out, but we are still getting so many side shoots. I was out here yesterday picking them, and I see a whole bunch more already. So our second planting of green beans here, we had our first harvest off of them a few days ago. Evan and I came out here and we sat and we picked beans, and he reminded me to always leave that top part on, and you guys, that was so helpful. I feel like that was the best advice I've ever heard. We've had a couple people, my brother and sister-in-law mentioned don't worry about the tails, and that's been a huge help as well. And just a few people mentioning those little tips we are so appreciative of, because it makes a world of difference. I blanched all those beans yesterday, and I was able to do it really quickly because I could pretty much just wash them. I didn't have to break off all the ends, which saved so much time.
So our tomatoes are still cranking out tomatoes. They are not stopping anytime soon. We have not made that fermented salsa yet. We ended up taking a bunch of these and canning them whole. Well, these big ones we chunk up, but what we did is we wanted chili, or jars for chili, so we did them whole like that. And we have another round, it looks like, coming in soon on that half of the garden. And then right after that is going to be all these, I'm guessing. So we have quite a bit to come to do yet. We did make a really big bowl of fresh salsa. Oh, so good. Look at, there's a bell pepper in the ground. 2 of them. How'd these get knocked down?
Cat.
Don't say that. He wouldn't do that. These bell peppers, if you guys remember, I fertilized these not that long ago, and I whipped up a 5-gallon bucket, soaked it, and watered it in. They all have a bunch of flowers and a bunch of peppers forming. Just these. The rest of the line down there doesn't. So next year I will be getting some, I looked it up, and we're going to get some bone meal to put in here. Not blood meal, because blood meal is nitrogen. We need some bone meal for our peppers. So although these peppers aren't flowering and having a ton of peppers on them, these are the only peppers that turned red. These couple down here. So that is pretty crazy. Oh, there's one that's rotted. Fell off. Darn it. But yeah, we're gonna get some red ones, so we can save the seeds from those too. Actually, we can't because we have jalapenos and stuff right here. So you can save the seeds from these red ones, but what's gonna happen is, being we have hot peppers and other kinds of peppers right here, so you'll have like jalapenos, they could be cross-pollinated with this one, and next year our bell peppers could be hot. So you don't want that. They won't be your King of the North bell peppers like we want. So for that to work, we have to have the ones in the greenhouse to survive. We can take the seeds from those.
The green beans from our first round of beans are drying out. I was out here picking a bunch of these dried ones yesterday so that we could save them for seed. I'm just gonna double check because, you know, I probably missed a few. And we'll save these for planting seed next year. So they say never to come out to the garden without a basket. I brought 3 baskets and said, Matt, do you think we should just grab the wheelbarrow? And Matt said,
I don't think we'll have that much.
oh my goodness.
Famous last words.
Always something to pick.
Do you think now that we've got more of this stuff figured out with the garden that we'll need 100 tomato plants next year?
I think 100 is a good number.
But we don't need to do like 150, I should say.
No, I don't think we need 150 tomato plants. Maybe when the kids are teenagers. I think 100 plants will be able to do what we've done, and if the plants do better, we'll be able to do more. It'd be nice to do tomato soup. We didn't get to that this year. More whole tomatoes. I think I definitely want to plant more than 1 cherry tomato plant next year.
Yeah, that went over very well with the kids.
Yeah.
I think next year I'm going to really focus more on peppers and onions.
Yeah.
Because I didn't realize we went through that much until this year, and we really kept track of everything.
Just picking some jalapenos. They're already starting to kind of crack there, so they needed to be picked. Our sad jalapeno plants, I think last year we had like 1 plant that just did outrageous. This year I think we've got like 8 and maybe that many jalapenos. So funny how every year can be different. So every year we plant the same herbs: cilantro, dill, basil, mint, and that's usually basically it. But this year I really wanted to start learning more about growing and harvesting herbs, and now that we're harvesting more and more, I can see how I'm really going to love this. So some of the herbs I harvested today was quite a bit of sage. I've actually been harvesting the sage pretty much, I feel like, for most of the season, for months at least, and it just smells so good. I've just been air drying it. That seems to work in our climate, to just air dry these things, and then I'm hoping to grind it up a little bit, seal them up with some moisture absorbers so that they'll last a while, and then we'll have fresh sage. We use sage a lot when we are making meat that we want to taste like sausage, and we also use it a lot in eggs. I also harvested quite a bit of oregano today, and I'm going to be air drying that as well. I still have to learn how exactly I keep this. I'm assuming it's probably a similar concept. Dry it, grind it up, and store it in the same fashion, but I just need to double check because I'm not fully aware on that. I harvested some calendula. We have flowers still coming in, and then I did let a few go on purpose so that I could collect them for seed because they're just such a pretty flower. I look forward to growing them again. And then any that accidentally went to seed, those get harvested today as well.
So, I do have something in the works for that thing right there. My boys are pretty excited. They're gonna help me with it. But I got my brain going and it just doesn't want to stop. So
Do you want to tease them a little?
I'm gonna try some stuff out.
So you told them it's for the greenhouse. You want to tease them a little more or no?
Like
Just have
how?
to wait and see
Yeah.
what it's for.
You'll see it in some
It'll
vlogs.
be good.
If it works. If it doesn't work, maybe I'm not gonna show you.
It's a good point.
I'm the one that edits.
Maybe, I think it will work. And I think when it starts working, we're going to be able to share a lot more growing content because it's going to help us grow a lot more in that greenhouse.
Yeah, there's a basically it's gonna be a lot of power it's gonna give us for free. So
Gotta love that.
constant power all day and all night. So it's not solar panels.
You're teasing them with what it isn't. I love it.
All right. Well, hope you guys liked the little tour and glad you got to see us again. Bye.